All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Banks, and I'm the lead analyst for Good Elite Deals and also the founder. I have here alongside our other representatives like Tomiwa, basically, who is also an assistant lead, and he also ensures that you guys get quality trades and all of that. So today we'll be looking at like a couple pairs that we plan on trading. An example would specifically be XAUUSD. So XAUUSD is one of the major pairs that we're looking at for the new week. Now, we took some trades early in the morning where we were expecting good sales. You know, we were expecting good sales, and then we sort of did our analysis and expected market to push down price. Now, the first trade took us out, though, then the first trade took us out, and then we took another trade, which was like a re-entry, and it was able to give us, a considerable amount of profit. Some people recovered. Some people did not even take the first trade. They only saw the second one. Why some people recovered, why some people did partial recovery. But this is just to come and gist you guys on how it's going. So some days, some weeks, some months, for the past like I think 5 weeks, we've not had any SL, like 5 straight weeks. We had 4 straight weeks like that, yes. So, and sometimes you can have like seasons like that where, you just constantly, make a whole lot of money for yourself. And then sometimes too, you come to a point where, you have losses here and then you have profits. But at the end of the day, it's just important to always understand that these are just, things that happen from time to time, not always every time, but at least it's one of those things that you can't avoid in the business if you really want to potentially make a lot of money for yourself. So, now, the other things that we're going to look at now is gold. Now, let me clear my chart off a bit. Now, this is the naked chart. I had a session yesterday with the VVIP members. So during the session yesterday, we were able to like talk about like a couple of things and the things that we're looking at for XAUUSD. And now we expect the markets to sort of move in a particular direction, right? And when market opened, we basically had that particular reaction, and we had, don't worry, it's recorded. It will be uploaded on YouTube Live. So we expected market to, we did some analysis and expected market to basically push down price, and that was like exactly what happened. So I'm going to give you guys a recap of what we spoke about and how at least some of them were able to make money off of what we did yesterday, as the analysis and all of that. So please pay quality attention. Now we're going to start with the 4 hour time frame. Why? Now, the 4 hour time frame allows you to see at least the overall bias for like the day. It gives you something sort of okay, this is what you can expect today, or sometimes even throughout like the whole week. At least 2 to 3 days, you can sort of know how the market will most likely play out, or areas where you expect markets to get to eventually. Because you feel like okay, I've done my analysis, and I think the market should get to a particular area. At least you're sure that you're expecting market to basically tank to that region. Now, why did we do that? First off, we had market create a high of this sort. Now, after creating this high that was created here is not the same high as the high that was created here. Why? Because this high had a high, created a retest. Hold on, trying to admit more people. It had a high, created a retest to the downside and broke instantly. There was no room for so many retests to expect the market would not start selling. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. This zone here created the high, retested back down, tapped back price into the supply to demand zone that is here, and then now we had market continuously push up price. This high and this high are totally different from this one. Why? Because after breaking this area, it created a retest to the downside. One, pushed up price again and failed. It pushed up price again and basically failed to use this high as a break for this one, which is market did not break past this other high that is here, right? Now, market didn't break past this high, then we have a situation where it now pushed down price and created a new break of structure. Now, upon creating a new break of structure, right? Upon creating a new break of structure here, it only would mean that okay, now we've seen, and this is on clear, but have in mind that this is on the 4 hour time frame. Now we've clearly seen that it has created a break of structure. One, now market pushed down price further again to create another break of structure. Now pushing up price automatically, we know that okay. Then what it did was it created a retest around here, which means that okay, as it pushed up price slowly, when it got here, it now continued to push down price, which indicated that okay, this represented a structural high, and this zone looked like a retest area that if market push up price to will have a continuation of the downtrend, at least to this area around 36.20. So what we then did was, as market opened, we expected that to happen, and actually we had a dip when market opened. If you checked, now if you go back to 45 minutes, we've seen that on the 4 hour. Now 45 minutes, you then know that okay, now you have sell opportunities above, but a break above this region that is here would automatically mean a buy continuation. But for as long as those areas that are here that are signifying sell opportunities are not broken, we cannot necessarily expect gold to just buy. So for me, it must create a pattern, basically. It's all about patterns. So that's what me, for my own self, at least, we might not be 100% right, which is totally fine. You don't have to be 100% correct, but at least you need to be correct a certain number of time. And from the analysis that we did, we're able to, bag money like in the midnight, and also we had a bit of loss this morning, but then we got a trade later that gave us about I think 80 pips on double entry, which is total of about 170 pips or something of that sort, basically. Now, this gives you like an edge, and you understand what you are expecting in the market. Now, it doesn't mean that oh, the buys are not valid, or oh, the buys are just the buys are actually valid. But off of what we see right now, we are seeing two things. Is market is failing to sell, and it is creating consolidation. So you don't want to sell, but you are creating consolidation. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. There's consolidation, and it doesn't want to basically push down price. Neither is it giving, because imagine gold would sell right now, at the same time it will sell, at the same time it will crash. Giving a repeated pattern, failing to actually push down price, to the lower areas that were expected. So for me, I'm looking at XAUUSD sell opportunities, but then it doesn't mean that the buys are not visible, but the buys are visible will be considered at the break of 36.57 region. So if we have a break above 36.57 region and hold on a bit, because let me give you an instance now. If market continues to push up price and break past this area, right? Because this place is automatically equal highs. This high and this high are equal highs. So the market should break past it a bit and retest back down, right? And retest back down. You slightly have a bit of patience. Hold on, guys. So if market meet more people. So if market should basically push down price into like this region that is here, like a rock bottom area that is here, then you can then get a continuation of the bias all the way to the upside, at least. But nonetheless, so that's why for me, I'm looking at sell opportunities here. If these sell opportunities are invalidated, you can just mark out something like this where, hold on. You can mark out something like this where you can have a short here. So if market should push up price, right? For me, this is what I'm going to be looking at. Sell opportunities for good at this region. Then expect it to automatically push down price, maybe like this area. So if gold should paraventure sell to that zone, that now gives you an opportunity to now take a continuation of the buys. So which means you're expecting something like this, a push up, break of this region. So the market should push up, break this region, create a retest, maybe push up price into this area. If I were you though, I'm going to take a little bit of risk. So this thing is more psychological. So for me, if I was using one lot on this particular trade, I'm going to just use a 0.50. So now, so just in case market continues to push up price, at least you do. And if it pushes down price back into these areas that are here, then you can now take a buy all the way to the upside. But now you're giving yourself two case scenarios: a sell opportunity that can now also give you a potential buy POI, and that's like pretty much it. So now that now brings us to another pair, which is going to be GBPUSD. So let's look at what GBPUSD has to offer us. All right, for GU, let's go to the 4-hour time frame quickly. On the 4-hour, you guys can clearly see here that the market has been struggling for a bit. All right, so market has been struggling for a bit. Let's minimize the chart. So you're gonna have a case scenario where market creates a push down, maybe. And you expect a push up. Why? Because if you zoom this clearly, you see that this is a low that created this new structural low that is down there. And automatically market created this invalidated zone that is here. So you mark this out as an invalidated zone. If you mark that out, view, let me talk. So if you mark that zone out that is there, automatically you'd expect a situation like this where market pushes down price to that area, and then you have a case type of this sort. If I were you, I'll minimize my risk to like around here and come here. Now for the 5 minutes, it's clear and direct. Now you can do the time frame divided by 2 from 4 hour, which is 2 hour, and on the 2 hour time frame, you clearly see that you have something like that. So you clearly see that you have something like this, basically. Hold on, guys. Let me stop sharing my screen. All right. So now you clearly see there that you have a situation like that where you're expecting market to now push your price from there. So I don't know why people just like to draw on the screen sometimes, and it's really not fair. People are just filled with a lot of anger. So right now, so what is what we're looking at basically. I just have to explain it to you guys so you understand what we're looking at. So GBP USD potential buy opportunities here, and then also gold gives us potential sell opportunities around the regions that I marked basically. So if you are in the Forex signal room or the VVIP, obviously you'll get trades and all of that. So those that are in the VVIP get more trades, but then all of the information will be communicated basically. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask my DM, you can send a message. And if you're from Telegram, you can just send me a message at TLC Banks. I'll respond to you guys as soon as I possibly can. Also, one of the ways that you can potentially make a lot of money for yourself is if you, have things that give you extra income outside of the trading space. These are things that people don't talk about a lot. And what do I mean by that? In order for you not to necessarily pressure your trading, you need to simultaneously have things that are going on for you that gives you cash flow. Now, all of these things now then give you opportunity to be able to maximize how much money you make for your trading. For instance, I have a lot of people on this call that have businesses that are medical doctors, lawyers, people that actually sell cars, people that have, people that are tech guys too, and have like good stuffs going on for themselves and all of that. And they are able to, have something that generates the money, and outside of that, they also get to trade. So you can do that for yourself too, you now get to the point where you have like $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and all of that kind of stuff. So don't let anybody bullshit you, telling you that oh, this, oh, that, and all. But yes, you can make a lot of money from trading. It can generate you a lot of income, but the only way you can be able to enjoy the psychology part of it is when you are not stressing, right? And that can only come when you know that okay, you can always get this done from here and get that done from there. So, and also I said I was going to talk about OPM, but OPM is not for everybody because not everybody has the ability to be able to manage other people's resources. Because the first thing people will look at is have you managed your own resources well, in order to be able to manage another person's own. So I think this is an era for you to basically seek knowledge, like get knowledge, like actually understand how to properly trade, actually understand like how your own psychology works. Because everybody has different psychology. Not everybody's psychology is the same. It can never be the same. So everybody has different psychology, everybody has different things that work for them in particular. So once you identify what works for you, once you identify how your own psychology works, I think from there, at least you'll be able to understand yourself to a full extent of saying that, okay, these are the things that I can avoid for myself, and these are the things that work for me, basically. So it's more of you creating time to actually study, get extremely good at trading the financial market. And it doesn't mean that you won't have losses. It's inevitable. It's those things that just basically bring you back to reality check that you're not an immortal as you thought you were. So on the days you have losses, that I remember the days where you had wins, and also ensure that you don't get yourself so worked up about it and just believe that, the same way you were able to generate a lot of money for yourself, and even those losses when they come, you will be able to make more eventually. The most important thing is all the systems that gave you profit, screenshot everything and keep them, and go and look at a futuristic trade of that old system that gave you money. If, for instance, now what you used in making a lot of money for yourself before was supply and demand, you need to look for a same type of setup that gave you a lot of money for a futuristic trade. So if something made you $1,000, you go and look for how did you pick that trade? What was the pattern? What was the system? That same system is what you will use again in order to be able to make more money for yourself, or even the exact same amount, or even maybe an amount lesser than that. Systems are the ones that build structure. Structures are never just built in a day. It takes a systematic process in order for you to be able to build a proper structure. So it's very, very important that as you go, as you climb different cadres of life, as you get better at your trading journey, as you get better in other phases of life, it's very important that you build systems. Once you build a system for yourself, it helps you to put structures in place that can now generate you money. Right, and it's very important to also be a person of value. Why? There's no amount of money that people cannot pay for services rendered because they know you're a valuable person. So this is me rooting for you and constantly praying for you that your new week is fulfilled. And I pray that every single one of your heart desires, God grants them according to his wishes and glory. And I pray that you have a fulfilled week. I know you're all big men and big women, but please let somebody know where you're going now. Just try to stay safe. Take very good care of yourself, and I'll keep in touch with you. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye everyone.